Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm your host, Kyle, welcomed by the ghost of Mike Hasselhoff, who will be joining the show as soon as he gets home from work, doing his saving people's lives and shit thing. Stream's going offline, that's not good. Hold on. Make sure we got everything up and running. I see it. There we go. I think we're good. Hopefully everyone had a good early. I almost did. Victor Martinez kind of sunk me out of cash in a couple lineups. I still did okay. Made a little bit of money back, but the Victor Martinez took me from quite a profitable day to not as profitable as I was hoping for. As you guys can hear, I have a full house of furry friends. See, I got everyone in here. Awesome. All right. So, Pittsburgh and Miami, man. Great game yesterday for Pittsburgh. Absolutely destroyed Adam Conley. We talked about that, man. Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Andrew McCutchen at the top of that lineup. That was money. I hope you guys stacked those. If you did, with Francisco Cervelli against the lefty, who's always a lefty killer, you probably did pretty well. What is up, guys? We got Liam, we got Steve, we got Jason. Jason, your Mets are killing me, buddy. They're taking my money away. I need the Nationals to win, and they're kind of killing me, buddy. Theo and the family must have stopped by. Theo's ugly, not furry. So we got Ivan Nova and Dan Straley. Dan Straley, for whatever reason, is up to 9K on DraftKings and 8.3 on FanDuel. How? I don't know. Yeah, Rotogrinder's talking up Straley and McCarthy. McCarthy, I can get behind. Straley, I think it's bad chalk again, man. Stroman didn't end up being chalk yesterday, but the Rays stacks still worked, and Stroman worked. You could have stacked both, honestly, because they all went off when Stroman left the game. But I don't know how Straley is chalk. I don't think he's this good, man. I think he's another Jason Vargas career guy that's never been excellent. He's got average numbers. I mean, he's decent, but he's not amazing. I don't see him as a pitcher worth that price point. So for me, that's an easy fade. Automatically, when you hear chalk, you're gonna look at the other side. And why is no? Gregory Polanco is lefty. There we go. McCutchen's still in play. Josh Bell has started to heat up a little bit. You know what? There's not much on this Pirates side that entices me. It's more so a game fade for me. I'm not pitching Straley, but I'm also not going to stack against him just because I'm not confident in this Pittsburgh lineup. You can be contrarian if you'd like and stack Pittsburgh. I think if you did that, you'd probably look back to Harrison at leadoff. And then you're kind of hoping on Bell, McCutchen, and Polanco to do something. I don't like Mercer down at 7. Gift, career minor leaguer, just got his first call-up. Josh says he wants 0 Straley. I'm with you, man. I am with you. 9.2 for Straley. Yeah, I don't know how he's chalk and how he's that expensive. It's a bad combo. So no Straley for me. Ivan Novas had a good start to the year. Not a high strikeout guy. Does give up some home runs. This is pretty much a game fade for me. Maybe Giancarlo Stanton. He's always a one-off, but I'm not really looking at much in this entire game. Atlanta, Milwaukee. Jaime Garcia is a guy I'm targeting today, stacking against. I look at these Brewers here, and just the amount of bright green is just the heavens shining down on the Milwaukee Brewers. So Eric Thames, if you make a Brewer stack, I don't know how you fade Eric Thames. I don't think I don't think you can fade Eric Thames if you're gonna stack the Brewers. Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw, they got to be in there. Hernan Perez is the guy I like to pair with that stack. I'm not so much on Santana today. I think I'm more on Perez. He's been hot. He's up to 6th in the batting order, which I can get behind. Obviously up against the lefty. I think there's a lot to like on this Brewers lineup. So if I'm stacking, I'm going Thames, Braun, Shaw, and Perez. Maybe Pena, but at 2.9 for catcher, I almost like Grandal a little better than Pena today. And then on this Atlanta side, I think it's still your two-man stack that it's going to be all year. Freeman and Kemp. Those are the two guys that do anything on this Atlanta offense. You're talking about Jimmy Nelson, who can give up the home run to lefties. Matt Kemp is still, he still has some pop in his bat. You're talking about a hitter's ballpark. So I see Freeman and Kemp as a two-man, nothing else. I'm not on Brandon Phillips. I'm not on Flowers. I'm not on Swanson hitting all the way down in the 8th hole. Adonis Garcia, no thank you. There's just not a lot. Maybe Inciarte if you want a leadoff guy and you want to make an Atlanta stack, but I don't see the reason to reach on that. There's some cheaper guys that are worth more. I missed out on the Yankees Judge. Yo, if you didn't play Judge in the morning, well, or I guess if you had Gardner, you were fine, but Judge went off again, man. 46 points. Ridiculous. Oakland and Houston, Joe Musgrove. This is a guy I think you can look at today. And Andrew Triggs, I think, is a guy I can look at as... Joe Musgrove is a guy I look to attack. Triggs is a guy I can look at as a sneaky play. I personally am not on him, but I believe he's right around... If you take Freeman, I don't know why you wouldn't just take Thames. No, I agree. They're the same price. And Thames fits a stack. So, at least on FanDuel, they're the same price. I want to find out where's Triggs in this respect. So, McCarthy is 8K. Triggs is 7.6. So, I look there. Yeah, Straley at 8.3. I don't know why you don't just play McCarthy. There's not much below Triggs that is enticing. You got Eflin at 6'2", Hughes at 6'3", Chacin at 6'4", Jesse Chavez in a hitter's park against a lot of power lefties. No, thank you. Tyler Anderson, a lefty in a hitter's park in Arizona. No, thank you. Jason Hamill. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. That game's rained out. So Hamill and Phil Hughes. No, forget I even said that. And then you got Musgrove at 7'4", Jaime Garcia at 7'5", Nova. So I think the lowest I go today is Andrew Triggs if you're on the main. What's up, Tone? So, yeah, I think Musgrove is a guy I can look to attack today. I love Chris Davis. You talk about that short, the Houston's little mini monster. I call it the mini monster. Their mini green monster over in left field. I love Davis today. I look at what Joe Musgrove has been giving up to righties, man. 1.7 home runs per 9, high fly ball rate, high WOBA, high hard contact. I think you can look at some of these righties. I look at Davis. Healy's in play for me. No Adam Rosales today. I don't like that as much. But maybe some Stephen Vogt if you want to go there. I think, again, I don't really look past Grandal today at catcher. I know we're paying up for catcher if that's the case, but that's where I'm going. So as far as Andrew Triggs, I like this guy, man. Not a ground ball pitcher, but gets strikeouts. I mean, you look at this, almost everything's green here. Low average, low OBP, low WOBA against him, high K per 9, low hard contact, low fly ball, doesn't give up home run. There's just a lot to like here. Now, I think he's going to go lower owned for a couple reasons. You have, if McCarthy is chalk, which I think he's okay chalk. I do. I don't mind playing McCarthy. But Triggs is not only cheaper, he's in a hitter's ballpark against probably a better offense. Not probably, is a better offense. So a lot of things point to just take McCarthy. But if that's the case and you want to go contrarian, Triggs makes a lot of sense, man. Houston is heavy favorites. That surprises me. Let me see if those lines are still the same. Yeah, home run sheets say Healy, Davis, and Vogt, and I agree with that, man. You look at Musgrove. Look what he gives up to righties. So I think it makes sense. I think you pair logic with numbers, and a lot of things make sense. I just want to check, make sure these odds are the same. So, yeah, man, the Astros are still heavy favorites. I think that's going to put even more people on the Astros. I like Triggs today. I do. I think I'm on Triggs. I think I just talked myself even more into Triggs. What's up, Bert? If you were to attack Triggs and go with a Houston stack, I like Reddick. I like Beltran. Yuli is doing well. He's starting to heat up a little bit. And then Brian McCann all the way down at 7. Now, here's the problem. McCann and Gaddis are both more than Grandal, who, again, he's my favorite catcher on the slate, so that's an easy fade for me. But if they're going to fit your stack, I can see it. But I had a really hard time fitting in some of this Houston stack, especially when you only get one catcher. And two, the fact that McCann is up to 3-2 on FanDuel, it's a little pricey, man. Even the dog likes the Astros. Sorry about the dog. They're all having a fun time. I got about 7 dogs at this house right now. Angels and Texas. So this game is good to go. It looks like weather is warming up. Rain is looking like it's not going to happen. If anything, maybe a light drizzle. So Jesse Chavez, I can get on a Texas stack, man. I like Mazzara in this 2-hole. DeShields is a leadoff hitter, I believe. I'm sorry, is a switch hitter. Let me make sure of that, because if that's the case, this is wrong. And I hate giving out wrong information. No, he's a righty. The sheets were right. My first instinct was wrong. So there you go. Uh-oh, Mike is calling. Why is it not showing up? Let's try and call Mike.
Yo, what's up?
Yo.
How we doing, guys?
Mike is in the building.
Building. That's right. Beautiful Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed the day. I had a pretty good one. About yourself, Kyle?
I was doing really well until Victor Martinez, man. I was cashing heavily, and then Victor Martinez dropped me down to $60 to recover part of my buy-in.
Yeah, I had a line that was cashing. I played 3 earlier. I don't know where I'm at right now. I haven't looked at it in like 20 minutes or so. My phone's not on me. Either way, it's all good. I'm ready to get back at it tonight, man. I love these weekends. We get to do it twice.
Yeah, buddy. So right now, okay, good. Back to Mike. That's the number. Back to one Mike. That's the number of mics I like.
All right.
So we were talking about Chavez. So this game looks like it's going to be good to go. Noah Mazzara is $3K on FanDuel. Now I know he's been cold, but that's an intriguing price, and he looks good. I think you got Odor, you got Gallo, who obviously jumps off the charts, right? There's a lot of good plays in this Texas game, and I think you can stack them. Darvish is mad expensive, and in a hitter's park, you do have that, but this Angels lineup is not intimidating. So what's your take?
I agree. I like stacking the lefties here is a smart move. I don't really mind that at all. Like you said, Gallo, he's kind of jumped off. The ball's been jumping off his bat, man. He gets a good matchup, I think. Righty-lefty here. I go after Odor and Gallo before the rest. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
Chu has been struggling. Napoli's been struggling. Like you said, Mazzara. Luke Roy as well. So there's definitely some struggling bats in this lineup that make it somewhat tough to stack. I think you definitely can.
Gallo's
one of the
popping
better
off.
spots.
Gallo is popping off on the sheets for what it's worth.
Yeah, at second and third base, those are elite one-offs if you don't feel comfortable stacking here.
So, I personally, it's hard for me to pay 3.7 on FanDuel for Gallo though. That is a hefty price, man.
Is it? Let's see. I have a line with both of them.
I have Christian Arroyo on the Giants, who has been performing pretty well.
Yeah.
At 2.4. So I say 1.3K. Now, Gallo's power far outweighs him in a hitter's park against a pitcher that gives up home runs. But it makes the lineup construction difficult.
Yeah, I think Gallo and Mazar are fairly priced on DraftKings. Mid 3,000.
Yes,
fair.
Mazar is underpriced on FanDuel. Gallo, I don't want to say overpriced, but for what he's doing, he's probably fair priced. But 3.7 is hard for a guy that home run or nothing.
Yeah, I guess you can make the case that Gallo's underpriced. I agree with that, and it is home run or nothing. Again, that's why I said I think this is kind of a one-off situation. I don't know that I fully stack here. I like the two-man with Odor and Gallo a lot. I can take a chance on Mazar for his price. Now, what's your take on? You mentioned Darvish. Obviously, the most expensive by far on this slate. I think he's affordable though. There's really not an expensive stack that's going to drive his ownership down. What's your take?
You know what? I started every line with Darvish. I did, but I found myself off of him. I was looking at some. I mean, an Arizona stack is not cheap. A Dodgers stack is not cheap. That's kind of where I'm looking.
Yeah, Arizona's not cheap, and Dodgers you can make happen. The problem I'm having is there's really not a lot of good pitching on this slate, man. There's not much that you can look at as far as a DFS upside type of guy. Darvish is really the only one. I think that's why his price is where it's at.
Do you think he goes lower owned with the combination of price and a hitter's ballpark?
I don't know. I think people value pitching enough to make it happen. I think we've seen Kershaw at 14,000 on DraftKings get high ownership. So
yeah, I mean obviously he's in a pitcher's park, but I don't know. I'm hearing. I mean, obviously we only have speculation, but a lot of the other pods are on McCarthy and Dan Straley, who I do not agree with. I think Dan Straley is bad chalk. I think you talk about regression to the mean. He's never been anybody that is excellent. You know what I mean? Like he balled out against the Padres, who we know strike out a ton. He's had a decent start to the year, but I don't think he is 9.2 on DraftKings worthy.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. So just say one last thing about Darvish. I'll continue to say it. If I'm going to get an elite pitcher at low ownership, I'm just going to have him in a line. It's pretty much where it's at, no matter really what the situation is. Again, pitching can win out any day. Straley, yes, he had a $1,400 price rise after that 14 strikeout game. That must just be an algorithm thing. If a guy strikes out that many players at his price range, they has to get a bump in price. Again, you said that was the Padres. However, that was the only game he pitched into the seventh inning all year. He's a career fly ball pitcher. It's like a .65 ground ball to fly ball rate in his career. And then you got Pittsburgh, who put up a crooked number yesterday. I mean, does that drive his ownership down with his price?
Honestly,
either way,
if you value the other podcasts, which by far and away get more views than us,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Straley ownership. You talk about point chasing. You talk about, people may look at you Darvish, be like no, and they go down to Straley. I don't know. I can see him being chalk. I don't like it. But on the reverse, we talk about stacking against the chalk, and there's really not much on the pitchers or on the Pittsburgh side that I love. Like, okay,
yeah.
McCutchen, cool. Like, I can get behind that. Maybe Bell.
Got it. I was thinking him or Mercer. Or no, sorry, Mercer, Jaso. But, yeah, it's reverse power stats for Straley's. Righties against righties hit him well. If you look at the numbers you provided with the last 7 versus righties, Pittsburgh is second to last in WOBA, third to last in ISO.
Yeah, so.
So it does kind of play into the narrative that Straley could be a good play, but is he worthy of 9,200? I don't really know. Pricing is somewhat relative in DFS baseball, but still, man, I don't know how much I can get behind it.
Yeah, I can't do it myself personally. So, especially so 8-3 on FanDuel. Mark McCarthy's 8, and Andrew Triggs. Speaking of, let's go back while we're. I mean, it's only one game back. We may as well.
Okay.
Thoughts on Andrew Triggs? I think he's going to
Triggs
be.
is surprising.
I think he's going to be low owned. He's not a fly ball pitcher. He's a ground ball, low hard contact rate, a very respectable 8K per 9 guy, low home run per 9.
Pizza's here.
Pizza, yeah, I don't know who that is, but whatever. Dogs.
It's friends. Oh no, my battery's low. That's not good. We'll make it through. Now, let's look. Contact rate percentage. What are we talking about? Triggs, right?
Triggs, I mean, he's under 20. The highest is versus righties at 26.15%. That's low.
Yeah, I think Triggs has just been a surprising play. I don't necessarily think it's like fluky either. Against Houston in Houston is somewhat of a turnoff, but there's really not much else. There's really not much else around him that I would want to play.
I think because of that he goes low owned. Let's look at what Houston has done versus right-handed bats. They're above average. I mean, they're the 11th best team with a 167 ISO, 315 WOBA. Let me see what they're striking out at. 41. They're striking out at about a 25% clip rate.
Now, I didn't watch any of this Seattle game with Triggs where he got. It says it's looking at a stat line here. It just says 4 2/3, 6 earned runs, a homer. And then he got pulled. It really didn't put up any fantasy numbers.
I don't know. I'm starting to talk myself. Jesus. I'm starting to talk myself off of McCarthy and onto Triggs for ownership reasons, but I don't know. Maybe that's a tournament play only.
Yeah, McCarthy's been surprising as well.
And this Phillies team has an extremely low implied total. When we get there, I'll show you. But
yeah, I bet you McCarthy gets the chalk over Straley on DraftKings, if I had to guess.
He should. He's more deserving. I don't think Straley is bad chalk, but for those of you that have been repeatedly burned by chalk the last couple days, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, you may see that and be like, nope, I'm not doing it.
Man, I hope Darvish is low. I'm gonna have him everywhere today.
I think Darvish is low owned. I do.
Hope
so. We'll go to that game now. So Mike Trout, I think obviously an elite one-off in this park. Does anyone else worry you?
Worry me if I'm playing Triggs?
No, Darvish.
Or worry
Darvish. We're talking Texas and LA.
I'm sorry, yeah. Worry me. This is the thing with Darvish. You look at, again, if you look at the numbers he provided with last 7 versus right-handed pitchers, the Angels are last in ISO, and they're 5th to last in WOBA. And yeah, if you look at their strikeout percentage over the season, they don't strike out much, but then you look at the last 5 versus righties, they're the 3rd highest strikeout rate in the lead.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. So
yeah, I gotta get different headphones real quick.
Okay. Minnesota, Kansas is rained out. So Colorado. A lot of people got burned by Arizona yesterday. We expected much higher run totals. I think they will be lower owned for their price, and you can go right back to some of these righties versus Tyler Anderson. So very much a split guy, gets destroyed by righties, high home run. You talk about a park that is high scoring. I go right back to Pollock, Goldschmidt. If you fade Thames, Goldschmidt, Yasmani Tomas. Jake Lamb's back in the lineup today. I think you can look there. Not my favorite play at third base. I'd rather play Gallo. And then Brandon Drury is someone I think you can look at. So I think you can look up and down this Arizona roster. Chris Owens, if you want to go there, he's 3.5 on FanDuel, though. That's expensive. The rainout crushed the obvious Royal stack. Lol. And then you have Zach Greinke, who has had a good start to this year, but he is in a hitter's park versus a team that does well versus righties. So you got Charlie Blackmon, Arenado, Gonzalez hitting cleanup, Mark Reynolds. I think a lot of these guys are in play. I don't know if I go back to Trevor Story down in that 7 hole, but I do like Blackmon, Arenado, Gonzalez.
Sorry. I'm going to sound like I'm going to pay phone again, but here we are.
We're talking about Colorado and Arizona, Mike. Thoughts?
Yeah, so obviously Colorado plays better against righties than they do lefties. Greinke, he's only really 2+ starts this year against San Diego, so you can attack there. Obviously, you're going to pay for it, so. And people got burned from this game last night, right?
Yes. Yeah, Arizona didn't do much last night.
So, yeah, obviously, Greinke when he wants to be. He misses bats a lot. But, again, he hasn't really proven it much this year except for those 2 San Diego games. So, I don't mind going here. I think Reynolds and Arenado are interesting. Reynolds just because of his price. Blackman, obviously, I want that if I can fit it. But if I'm playing Darvish, I don't know that I can.
For what it's worth, I just want to mention we have some action going on in this betting. Sharp action is pointing Marlins, interesting with Straley, Rockies, Colorado, Arizona under, Padres against Matt Cain, Philly, LA over, and the Astros. That in itself, if you were to follow that, would sink McCarthy. It would sink Triggs. You would fade Arizona and Colorado for that fact, or that matter. And Straley would make sense, which kind of goes against.
I would sink Nova too, who I like today.
No, it's people are betting on the Marlins, meaning Nova would be.
Right, it would sink Nova.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, who I liked today. So.
So, I mean, this is interesting. Seeing all this come out, the Padres make sense. I could kind of see a mini Padres track. But
definitely. And the Philly-Los Angeles game blowing up makes sense, too.
I don't know, man. If you guys believe in that, right? So, numbers would make sense for this Arizona stack. I think you can go back to it, but...
I mean, it could be sharp because, the Philly implied total under 3. People are just going to look at that and be like, what are the odds that a baseball team scores more than 3 points? You probably get numbers on that, and it's pretty good, whether you like them or not. Then again, yesterday it could be clouding the judgment of people anyway with this Colorado-Arizona game, so maybe you can go there. I don't mind it, man. I definitely like some one-offs. I don't know who would want to stack on Colorado, and if I did, I don't really have the pitcher down in the bottom of the bucket that I could pair with it.
Yeah.
Especially when I need 2 on DraftKings. There's really not 2 I feel that confident in. But it goes same thing here. I like Owings and Goldschmidt. The fact that Owings is dual eligible helps. I think I'd rather play Goldschmidt over. If I had to pick a one-off, I think I'd rather pick him than Blackman or Arenado.
Who?
Goldie.
Okay, yeah. No, and Goldie's going to... I think he'll be lower owned. You got Thames on the slate. Goldie burn people.
Yeah. Tyler Anderson, notoriously a ground ball pitcher, but I don't know. He hasn't really shown it that much this year.
Josh makes a good point. He said you could actually play Greinke in that case as well, if that's the case of this this game being under.
Yeah, I'm just curious what happens with Greinke. You look at his last 2 starts, which we know a lot of people do. They might go to him, but
people talking
I don't
about.
know. What do you think what's going on with Greinke today? His ownership. I'm not really on him at all.
I wasn't looking at him either, but I don't think he's a bad. I think he's low. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's a terrible play. He's got strikeouts.
Upside,
his team strikeouts or strikes out. So.
Yeah, with the K upside.
Yeah, Robbie Ray did well besides that inning and the Story home run. So.
And then you look at the season. I did dig up the stat. Was his swinging strike rate is over 13%, which is top 20 in the league.
Okay, so we got Padres and Giants. Wallace Chastain, obviously a guy we can target. High hard contact. On the reverse, Matt Cain. There's 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to center. 66 degrees at game time. That's relatively warm for San Francisco. So,
nice.
Where do you look here? I think Schimpf is an obvious play. This guy's extremely streaky, and he's on one right now. 3 home runs in 3 games.
Yeah, to me that means fade. I don't know about you. I don't think. Yeah, he's on one, but I don't know. Is he Aaron Judge? I don't know. To me, the guy that I like a lot is Austin Hedges. His price is $2,400 on DraftKings. 5 of his 6 home runs has been versus righties. So obviously a small sample size of what we have in front of us. Guy has obvious power. Matt Cain has been getting lucky, in my opinion, to start this year. And
I was going to say, so do you think Cain keeps this up?
No, well, if you look at this, 91.7% left on base.
Wow.
That is unreal. That's going to come down to earth. That means
Yeah.
91% of the people who puts on base get left there. That's insane. He's got a 212 BABIP as well. That's also going to regress to normal. Those two stats to me scream luck.
I mean, he is in a pitcher's ballpark again versus a team that strikes out a ton, so maybe that luck continues again tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very surprising start. I'll give you that. Now, I did read that he had an MRI on his hammy on Tuesday, but they cleared him to start. I don't know, does that surprise you at all? Or does that worry you at all?
It does, from a standpoint of how long is he going to go. If he gets into any trouble, are they going to be quick to pull him if he shows any signs at all of irritation? Obviously, you don't risk
we
that.
talk enough about getting deep into ball games. That's huge in DFS. The only way you score points is outs and strikeouts.
Yeah, look at
Obviously
DeGrom.
the win too, but
DeGrom yesterday, man, gave up 2 home runs, 3 earned runs total, but
but he
still went
went
deep
deep
and got strikeouts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so 2 potential one-offs from San Francisco that I'm looking at are Christian Arroyo, obviously, who's had just an amazing start to his big league career, and Drew Stubbs, who's a minimum salary guy, always been a power guy and a strikeout guy to go with that. So home run or strikeout. Where
What
you
about
looking?
Belt?
Belt too, yeah.
I mean, Belt's numbers seem to match up. 343 WOBA against lefties. Belt's 353 WOBA against righties.
Here's my only
So
problem.
it seems to match up.
Here's my only problem with Belt is I have Eric Thames on the slate, and I'm doing a Milwaukee stack.
Yep, that is a big problem with Belt. And you got Freddie Freeman, who's a good one-off today. And you also have Goldie, who's a good one-off today. So yeah, that is a problem. But I think if you look at, like, if you are going to try and punt there, he's probably the best guy under 4K on DraftKings that I'm going for. I think you can make a case for Yonder Alonso, which, I don't know, I guess I didn't mention him, but he's batting 5th in the hitter's park against Musgrove, who's been giving up the home runs.
True. So I think I'd look at, like I said, Shemp is in lines today, and then Renfroe.
Yeah, I have Renfroe and Hedges in a couple different spots.
Jeffrey says Joe Panic is sneaky. Yeah, I could see Joe Panic leading off.
Yeah, what's going on? Why are they putting him lead off? Is they trying to get his bat going like they did Story yesterday, or
Hunter Pence
just
isn't
because it's a
playing,
lefty-righty thing? Is that what they do?
Hunter Pence isn't starting, so they just moved everyone up. Posey's batting 3rd, and they slid Morse into the cleanup spot.
Okay, so a little bit of a different look for them.
All right, and lastly, you got Philly and Los Angeles. So we just talked about McCarthy. I think he's going to be chalk, but I thought he was good chalk. High strikeout clip, low fly ball rate, pitcher's park. He's a reverse split guy. He does struggle more against righties, but Philly's lineup is lefty heavy. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Phillies to win this game too. I mean, yesterday they couldn't do anything to get back in that game. They were trying pretty hard. They just have like those. You get like some runners on base, and then like, I don't know, Brock Stassi comes or Andrew Knapp comes up. It's just like they can't. There's no way they don't have like a full lineup of confident hitters right now. I don't know. It's interesting with McCarthy, man. I mean, 8.25 K to 9. That is kind of, not his style. I mean, he's been a ground ball pitcher his whole career. So
McCarthy?
Pitching to contact. So I don't know if that's going to regress. I don't think he's on the come up, by any means.
Well, I mean, his career stats over the last 3 years, 8.5 Ks to lefties, 8.8 to righties. So.
Yeah, I guess there is that, but I always thought of him as like a guy that pitched to contact.
I don't know. Maybe he has that rare. The stats are kind of weird because his hard contact is at average or above it. His fly balls are below average. His home run per 9 versus righties is almost 1.5. Yet his K per 9 is almost 8.5 to 9.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
The stats don't tell a story.
Not at all. And I think you can get after Philly on the West Coast here, though. I watched that game. They didn't look too great. Galvis seems to be hot, but Franco is not.
Galvis has, I believe, a 10-game hitting streak.
Yeah. I don't really know much what's going on with Nava or Saunders. I feel like they're not getting regular playing time.
On the reverse, I think a Dodger stack is in full effect tonight.
Yeah.
We already talked about this, the sharp action being over on this game. Zach Eflin, who his numbers don't lie versus lefties, man. Fly ball pitcher, almost over 2 home runs per 9, under 4 Ks per 9. You got Corey Seager, Yasmani Grandal in cleanup, which I love today, all over him. Cody Bellinger batting 6th, Yasiel Puig batting 5th. I don't look at Adrian Gonzalez. I think, even if you're in the late slate, I just think you play belt. But
here's my thing, though. A Seager obviously is the play at shortstop today. I mean, in my opinion.
Yep.
Had 3 hits yesterday, 2 for extra bases, if I'm not mistaken. Facing a young righty. And the thing is, there's the scarcity at shortstop today makes me want to try and look elsewhere. I mean, as a tournament player, there's really not much else at shortstop today. So the fact that Seager makes most sense to me makes me think maybe I go to Galvis. I save a bunch of money. It's got the lefty-righty splits. That guy's just as hot. Everyone's on Seager.
The only issue with that is if Seager goes off.
Yeah, you lose out.
You're kind of way far behind in that shortstop department, unless one of them matches. Right, so there's times where chalk is, I would say, necessary.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, let's see, I think I have Seager everywhere. I was just playing devil's advocate.
No, for sure. Honest. I mean, tournament play, you got to think like that. Captain says, who do I like, Pollock, Tomas, or Enciarte? Extremely different prices.
Pollock and Tomas are somewhat close on DraftKings. I think I just go Pollock, man. Got speed. And
I agree. This dude is stealing mad bases right now too.
Yeah.
So if you can afford Pollock, I think you go there. No doubt.
But Tomas is swinging for the fences, though. That's what he looks. His swing is definitely taking a bit of an uppercut change. Correa, Arroyo, Owings, decent options at shortstop. Arroyo is a shortstop on DraftKings. And Owings, yeah, I do have him. I have a lineup with Owings and Seager because Owings is outfield eligible as well, which helps.
Nice, okay. So, all right, give me your 3 pitchers then, Mike.
Well, I didn't really have a chance to talk about Nova, but I'm going there.
Okay.
He's been very efficient pitch count wise. He leads the league in pitches per innings pitched, under 13 pitches per inning pitched. He leads the league in strikeout to walk ratio, 15 Ks per walk, which to me that just tells me the dude is pitching strikes, and he's showing that he has a lot of control over the first 4 starts of the year.
Yeah.
He's coming off his best start of the year versus the Yanks, but he's a sinker baller and he pitches to contact, so there's really no K upside with Nova. I don't know. To me, like I said, I just feel like the benchmarks are getting to 7 innings and getting 10 strikeouts. If he can get me to 7 innings and maybe get me 5 strikeouts, I'm okay with that, no matter really what happens in the game. Because if he's getting to 7 innings, the game is at least going to stay close, right?
Agree.
So just the fact that he's, like I said, leading the league in pitches per innings pitched and strikeout to walk ratio just tells me he's throwing strikes and he's got control. Now the Marlins, they don't really strike out much, but they haven't shown great hitting stats over the last week versus righties.
No, they're terrible.
Second to last in ISO and about the same for WOBA. So
the Jags be killing me. Says Garcia pitchers sneaky.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Miller Park, so.
Yeah, I'm stacking the Brewers, so I can't get on board on that one with you. But if he dominates, you're doing kind of that reverse double dip strategy, right? You talk about stacking against the chalk. Well, if you pitch against the chalk, and the chalk not only bottoms out, but your pitcher goes off, you're sitting pretty.
I don't know. I like both sides of this. I don't really know where I want to go on the Rays. I definitely have Freeman in a lineup.
I think Freeman would be your guys.
Yeah, I have 3 lineups right now, and full disclosure, my 3 first basemen are Thames, Freeman, and Goldie. I have a lineup with 1 of each. Just because I think that the chances for those guys to hit bombs are about equal today.
Fair.
All in Harris Park.
Okay, so you talked about Nova. Who else you got?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm going Nova, Darvish, and then I'll get behind Straley because the stats back it up.
Okay. Personally, I think you got to look at Yu Darvish, obviously, right? There's nothing saying Yu Darvish is a bad play today, other than the fact that it's the ballpark. But I think he can silence that Angels offense. I really like Brandon McCarthy today. This Vegas line really jumps out at me as well. I mean, Dodgers are heavy favorites, so I can look at McCarthy, and then I like Triggs, man. I still like Triggs, even though that the Astros are getting the sharp action.
That's weird, dude, because Musgrove has looked terrible this year.
That's what I'm saying. I thought I made a case that you could stack against Musgrove, and I was looking at Chris Davis, Ryan Healy, again, Musgrove is a reverse split guy. If we look here, versus righties, 1.7 home runs per 9.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I think there's some cheap one-offs on Oakland. I like Lonzo. Vote, he's not been playing well, so I like him too.
Yeah, we're looking at Vogt. I was looking at Vogt. I think I just go with Grandal and call it a day.
Yeah, I think Rondell is the play. I like him and Hedges. Those are my two catchers today. There's a good bit of catchers, though. I think you can make a case for Gaddis and Pina Colada.
See, I wasn't looking at Pina. I thought, here's the thing. Pina and Grandal are the same price.
Oh, really?
And so for me, I thought Grandal was the better play. But I do see it,
Absolutely.
right? With Pina righty versus Garcia lefty. I can see it. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm on Hedges is I don't know what his price. I know Hedges has been a lot higher on DraftKings. He's 2,400 on FanDuel, which is insanely cheap for him. And I said Pina because he's He's $500 cheaper than Grandal. I mean, he's batting 400 on the year. So I don't know. I think you make a case for. I still like Grandal more.
Yeah. Captain Jenks, Trout as a one-off today. I think Trout's always a one-off option, especially in that offense. I mean, he is the offense. But Pujols did hit a home run yesterday. For what it's worth, he was projected to on the sheets. Somehow, I didn't buy into it, but of course he...
Yeah. When Trout's in a hitter's ballpark and you're not playing the pitcher against him, I think he's always in play.
I think even if you were to do a short slate and Trout was against your pitcher, I think you'd look at it.
Well, yeah. You gotta, yeah, he's the best player in the league. So.
Especially prices, but
okay.
Especially if with Yu Darvish, I mean, you talk about strikeout potential, right? He gives up a solo shot to Trout and then strikes out the next guy.
He stays in the strike zone.
Yeah. Okay, so give me your 3 favorite stacks then.
Yeah, I'm gonna stack of lefties in Texas against Chavez. I think Arizona kind of goes without saying. I think the Texas and the Dodgers make the most sense to me, and then Milwaukee.
I'll buy that.
Dodgers are cheap stacked today on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm all on Dodgers. So my 3 favorite stacks are going to be Milwaukee. I like Thames, obviously. I like Hernan Perez and Ryan Braun. That's a 3-man I like. I love the Dodgers. I like Corey Seager, Yasmani Grandal. I can get behind a little bit of Puig. Maybe some Cody Bellinger if you want to go there. Andrew Tolles to lead off I can look at.
Yep.
And then I think I like an A stack, honestly. I think I like Healy, Davis, and Alonso. That 3, 4, 5.
No, I think Alonso is my favorite one-off on the A's. I like Reddick on the other side as a one-off.
Yep.
I think, let's see, the LA stack that I have is Grandal, Seager, and Tolles.
Vegas has used pitching prop, so his K is set at 6.5. The under on that is heavily favored, Mike. Does that?
Who?
Yu Darvish. Vegas is putting his K prediction at 6.5. The under on that is heavily favored. Does that worry you at all? Would you and his strikeout?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of that is they're looking at the Angels haven't struck out much. You know, if you look at career numbers for the Angels' current starting lineup, not very good. Not a very big strikeout team. So,
yeah, last year
again, it's an upside. It's an upside play, man. I really don't feel like comfortable with much pitching today. I don't even really feel like I'm comfortable with Darvish that much.
I feel it, especially in a hitter's park.
Absolutely.
Someone on second base. What do you think of Drury batting 6th? I like it versus lefty.
Drury batting 6th? Yeah. I like Owings. And I like the Owings Paul Goldschmidt thing. I have that somewhere.
The sheets say 6.77. I'm going over. Trust the sheets.
For what? 6.77 for what?
Darvish's strikeout prediction.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
Tolles or Calhoun? I think I go Tolles personally. Steve asked major chalk, or Steve says major chalk for you. Interesting.
Is it? I imagine it will be. That's what I assumed.
JL hates pitching tonight. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really don't like pitching at all. So I'm picking Darvish and Nova and just running 3 lines with them. Hopefully it works.
Interesting. I'm still surprised that the Astros are favored to win, but wind is it's a dome, so never mind. Wind doesn't really matter too much. Philly and LA over, Colorado, Arizona under. I think you got to look at Zach Greinke tonight if this is the case, man. I don't know. He's Oliver.
I'm actually thinking about making a lineup because I want to fit something in that I couldn't do with Darvish, so I might make one with Greinke instead.
Yeah.
Especially Darvish is gonna be chalk.
That's what I'm looking. Looking at Greinke for sure.
Getting that for show.
Who are your 3 favorite outfielders for DK? Mike?
I mean, do I get a price range or just
I guess
overall?
Just give me your 3 favorite.
Jeez.
Question have a price range.
Let's see here. I'll just go one-offs, I guess, because I'll go Blackman, Pollock, and I'll say Reddick, just for something, because I know you probably can't afford everybody.
Fair.
Cheap outfielders, though, is where I'm looking. Trying to find a cheapness. You got Renfroe, Tolles, and that's about all I like. You can get Michael Morse. He's outfieldable for only $2,300. That's pretty much minimum salary.
Interesting. Josh says the sheets say Musgrove is a good play, based on the projection.
I mean, I hope so. He's in one of my season-long leagues, and he needs to bounce back. I went up and picked up Francis Marte because he's been struggling so much. He's lighting up AAA right now. But I don't know. I can't get behind Musgrove play unless I'm playing a whole bunch of lineups, just because he's not really been performing very well. What about Delano DeShields today? You on that today?
I can see it.
Part of a stack?
If you're going to stack Texas, yeah, I may as well. I think you got to look there, right?
I think I'm going to go Renfroe. Better chance for... It's a one-off. I think Renfroe is a little bit better, right?
Bellinger's cheap. Yeah, Bellinger is cheap. I was definitely looking
at he's a first baseman there, right?
Bellinger? No, he's an outfielder. Cody Bellinger, Dodgers.
Cody Bellinger? Cody Bellinger's a first baseman, but he's a first baseman on DraftKings too.
Interesting. He's an outfielder.
They haven't played in that. Well, he came up as a first baseman. He was supposed to take over for Agon.
He's outfield on FanDuel.
I guess they haven't played outfield. Yeah, it takes him out of play pretty much on DraftKings that he's first base. Same price as Yonder Alonso, I guess.
I'm trying to fit a line with Greinke. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Greinke. Yep, trying to do the same, man. I think trying to do the same.
I got to drop 1,900 in my lineup. I don't know where I'm going to go. McCarthy, the only guy I'm paying up for.
McCarthy?
Yeah.
Who else?
Nova.
That's not really paying up, though, is it? I mean, he's not...
He's $8K on FanDuel. He's one of the more expensive guys.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's 8,900 on DraftKings. That's, I believe, 5th? Yeah, so I guess he is paying up. Yeah, I agree. You're right. Sorry. AJ Pollock?
What am I going to do here?
Can I go 5 deep with this Dodger stack? Probably not. I think I'm gonna get rid of tolls. That's where my head's at right now. Woo! I'll stick with Renfro. I got Renfro in all 3 of my lineups right now.
Hedges or Grandal for catcher?
Depends on site you're on. Hedges is too expensive on FanDuel. He's really cheap. I have Hedges and Grandal are my 2 catchers on DraftKings, so take your pick. If you're playing one lineup, I'd probably stick with Grandal. But again, don't let the numbers fool you with Hedges. 5 of his 6 homers came against righties, so
That's fair.
yeah, he's expensive on. Oh, I should probably change my FanDuel lineup. I always forget to do this. Like in the free contest, I make a dummy lineup,
Yeah.
and then I forget to change it.
What do you think of this outfield for DK, Trout, NCRT, and Pollock?
Yeah, NCRT been playing well, so I think that Brave stack is in order today. I don't mind going him and Freeman if you want to go 2-man there.
If you do that, I think you throw Kemp in there as well.
Yeah, I think you probably should be right.
Favorite 2-man stack? My favorite's Seager, actually.
Yeah, I like Odor and Gallo.
I can get behind that. Favorite pitchers tonight? Triggs.
Triggs.
I think the site just went offline.
Oh, really? Damn.
Oh, there it is. Stream's back. So Triggs, Darvish, and McCarthy for me.
NCRT, where are you at? Where's he at in price? I might fit him in a lineup with the lineup I have with Freeman. Hitters in. It's EN, right? Yeah, no. Ender. 4,200. Goodness gracious. That's a pretty penny for that dude. No thanks.
This is dropping mad frames right now. So, all right.
What do we do?
Well,
Call it a day?
yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in as always. We'll be in Slack for the next 10 minutes answering any questions, and then obviously up to the later slates as well. So, with that, thank you guys again for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Theo will ask or answer any last minute questions, as always. And have a wonderful day, guys. We will